Alright, what is up YouTube? So today, just another day working in the garage. I wanted to touch up a couple things on the 125 build. The video yesterday. I've been on a streak, I think like a 4-day streak of posting videos, so I'm trying to continue that. There should be a ton of videos after next week. You guys will have to be updated on that. So if you guys are new and this is the first video you're watching, hit the subscribe button down below so you can see future videos on the 125 build and future riding videos coming up very shortly. There's a hint for that. But today, my plan is to get all these bearings out of the cases. To my understanding, as long as I just heat it up, most of these should just fall right out. That's a simple way of putting it, but for the most part, try to get all these bearings out ready for vapor honing, and that way, I wasn't gonna do it, but I figured I have the time and I may as well try to do something and get all these bearings out. So I'm gonna get onto that, and then over here with the pit bike, I think I'm gonna finally reach out the carb in this thing. JB weld that hole in the side of the case right there, and I was gonna spray paint up some of the swing arm and some of the rim here, but it's super dirty. I'd rather wait until I can power wash it and then do that. I need a new chain guide because it looks like it's wearing down at the swing arm, so I gotta place an order for that because that's still the stock 03 one. So that's lasted a good while. Might actually sharpen the other peg because when I sharpened this peg, I never got to doing the other peg, so I might do that. This side is where it's really bad on the rim. As you can see, it's all chipped off. That's what happens when you spray paint rims and you don't get them powder coated. Whatever, and the swing arm's all jacked up. So come time, spring or whenever I can get this thing power washed, take this off, spray paint that up again, spray paint that. I don't really care to get it powder coated. Maybe down the line. But yeah, other than that, button this thing up with a carb so it runs good at least. What are you gonna do? I'll probably, once I finish up both KX125 builds, I'll probably for sure invest a little more money in this, but with both these 125 builds, this one especially was not cheap. So I'm gonna move all the radiator stuff, put it in the boxes. That's gonna get put away for vapor honing, and I'm gonna do one case at a time right here because I don't wanna do it on the plastic table. As I heat it up, it's probably gonna melt into the plastic, so that's not good. So I'm going to start with all these surrounding bearings, get to the crank bearing last. These little bearings should fall out if I heat it from both sides and then just tip it over. They should fall out. So we'll see on that based on YouTube how-to I saw. Pretty much learned how to take this whole thing apart from a YouTube how-to, like 2 or 3 different YouTube how-tos. But regardless, make sure I do not strip those. I don't want to jinx myself, but make sure I take my time taking those out. And yeah, just heating it up with the torch over here. I'm gonna put a glove on before something happens and then I regret not putting a glove on. I think what I'm gonna do is just heat it up for a couple, probably like a minute or so, then use a socket and just punch it out if it doesn't fall out on its own. That wasn't hard at all. Touch it, this thing just fell out. I think it's just held in there by those little brackets, so it's not actually like pressed in there. So now I can actually heat these up. This seal I can't get out, so I don't know what I'm gonna do, but Alright, well, on to the next. I guess I'll figure out that crank bearing seal at a later point, so moving on to the next case and getting all those out. So that one's done, and I think that's it. Okay, so I got pretty much all the bearings out of the cases except for those two right there that I'm gonna figure out at a later date once I get them vapor honed and whatnot. So majority of all the bearings are out, along with this case right here. Now I'm gonna move on to the pit bike, rip this carburetor off, and then throw in. I have a couple different jets to choose from, so I think I'm just gonna bump it up. I don't know, I'm gonna see what jets I have first and then I'll go from there. Okay, so I got one pilot jet right here, then I have 5 different main jets. I have a 145, a 155, a 165, a 175, and a 185. I'm not entirely sure. I'm gonna look up people recommend or what they run, what size they have in here. Okay, here's what I'm reading on Planet Minis, whatever, and what other people recommend for a 143 kit, which is what's in my bike. They said the 165 was too lean, the 170 was still lean, didn't pop at the top end. 175 was probably too lean, no pop, was kind of lazy on the top end. 180 and 185. And then for the pilot jet, they recommend a 20, which is, I have a 20 right here, so I guess I'll change out the pilot jet to the 20. But the main jet already in here is 190, and he said it's still kind of bogged a little bit. People that are gonna ask, this is a Mikuni 26mm carb pit bike. It has the 143 big bore kit with the V2 head. So the pilot jet that was in there was a 22.5. I'm gonna put a 20 in there and try that out and not touch the main jet and leave that at 190. I have this brand new 2-stage filter. I'm not sure if it'll work any better. Maybe, because the other one's just a little pod filter, single. I should probably clean this too, it's so dirty. Oh, that is very much so pushed up against the front fender. Throttle's nice and snappy now.
That sounds about right.
Yeah, it's definitely not right. Alright, well since that doesn't work, I think I'm going to take it back out, put the 22.5 pilot jet back in, and then try the V5 main jet. Maybe even the 175. It's definitely not the pilot jet because based on that, it's not getting enough fuel. Alright, so now I have the 175 main jet and then the 22.5 pilot jet. We'll see how that runs. This isn't really a good test since I can't really ride it, but... Well, I think I'm just gonna leave it like that for right now, ride it tomorrow since it's like 9 o'clock right now, and then test it from there. But I think I'm gonna cap the video off right here where it's at, and in the next video I'll update you guys obviously how it runs. This is kind of like a shorter video, but I was just trying to get stuff done today and just to kind of keep you guys updated. So I'm glad I got the majority of these bearings out besides these two right here. Boxing everything up so I can bring it, and this is all the stuff I'm gonna get along with I have those 2010 KX250 forks I have to get done. I'm not entirely sure what I want to do with those other than get the right spring and like the fork oil and whatnot, but the seals are brand new, good to go. But yeah, as far as everything else, gotta box up. I gotta throw pretty much all these parts over here in the box. Those are all getting vapor honed and a few other minor little things, but regardless, I gotta place another order for the Wrench Rabbits full motor rebuild kit, and then I gotta order a separate 144 top end, and then I'm gonna use that other top end for my 01 like I was saying before, because that's the smartest way I think to save money and utilize the kit. So I wanted to get more done on the pit bike today. Didn't really have a ton of time. It actually took me a lot longer than I thought to get those bearings out, but didn't have a lot of time since it's already like 9 o'clock now. I don't feel like doing it. And I think I'm just gonna try to run this pod filter even though it hits the front fender, the back of the fender. I don't think it's a big deal. I'm just gonna run it for a little bit, see if it does any better. If you have the same kit as me, definitely post a comment down below what jetting you're using in this Mikuni 26mm carb. There's a bunch of different forums. Everybody says a different thing. So tell me what you recommend or what you run on your bike that runs good, and then I'll try to do that. So I'll look at the comments on tomorrow's video and go from there. Definitely post a comment down below, let me know. I feel like carbs are one of those things I haven't really messed with a lot myself, but they're kind of nitpicky. Kind of have to go back and forth, rip it off, change the jets, put it back on, rip it off, just to get it perfect. I want it perfect, because I'm finally like spending the time to get this thing to run perfect, because I rode it for a season where it ran kind of junky, as you guys know, and I want it to run good this year and really do it right. Kinda. I'm gonna wrap the video up here. I know it's kind of short, but if you guys enjoyed it and you're new, hit the subscribe button down below. Give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully, I might be taking out the O1 over here, rip it in the snow. If you wanna see that, post a comment, give this video a thumbs up, and I'll try to do that. Maybe, depending on if it'll even go through the snow, because it's so deep and all wet snow. So we'll see on that. I'll see you guys in the next one.